My family celebrates nothing. When I was maybe 6 or 7, my parents told me that the cakes and the presents will stop, that I'm old enough for all of us to stop pretending that being alive for one more year is such a big deal. They didn't really say that. But when I look at other families, I don't know what the big deal is either. Some people literally celebrate things like beating cancer for another year, or being stone deaf to the call of old age. Me? Completing another cycle around the sun means I've done nothing but marinate in my own mediocrity. Here's a poem that I wrote to celebrate my 39th year of mediocrity. Level 39, achieve. Haven't died. Haven't murdered anyone. Yet. Although came pretty close to it just last week. I think we all learn to recognize bullshit when we see it, although wisdom cautions whether or not to call it bullshit. My family celebrates nothing. We are immune to each other's birthdays, to Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, or whatever day capitalism concocted to guilt us into thinking that spending money means we care. I am immune to Christmas, when members of my former church used to urge me to come back or go to any other church as if having my body in a building once a year means I'm closer to being born again. I am immune to Chinese New Year, where my Hakka relatives used to shout out at each other over how success is measured by whether or not you are a man's property and the bearer of his children, because what else are you here for if you can't even manage that? My family celebrates nothing. We do not deface our cars with mini flags on mini flagpoles to lie about our patriotism. I do not sing the anthem during compulsory public reminders of nationalism. A country can force you to by law, but it cannot make a heart feel anything after they've broken it too many times. I've settled for scornful apathy, from being told over and over, if you don't like it, then leave. Here's a poem I wrote to celebrate my status as a third-generation pendatang asing. When you don't have enough roots to stay and not enough privilege to leave, you become that tourist who can't leave the airport, who can't go home, wherever that's supposed to be. Recently, I learned that Pilihan Raya means a festival of choice. But what kind of festival is it when there is nothing festive about it? Where one side basks in our money and their own self-assurance while the other makes fun of their opponents, the same way your bullies came after you in school, or how you bullies went after your victims in school. Having two choices means choosing to change or choosing to stay the same. Having too many choices means no one can even trust the first two. I have said many times that my vote is for the side that wastes the least amount of my time. At least I can say I gave both sides equal opportunity. I had friends whose postal votes arrived too late to be mailed, other friends who ran votes to their stations without fear or favor, more friends who got on the plane first thing in the morning, stood in line for 2 hours, got back on the plane so that they could make it back to work the next day. We packed into the same polling stations we did the last time, but oddly, voting for a different area this time. It was hot, everyone was determined and hopeful, everything took and wasted time. We're so used to having nothing to celebrate that we didn't know what to do with ourselves when the night ended and it wasn't back to business as usual. Here are some of the things I learned after we end an era. 1. My fingernails grow 1 millimeter every week. It may seem insignificant, but it's enough to annoy me when I type, and I'm not quite ready for this mark to go away. By ourselves, we may seem insignificant, but I have never felt less alone, and I'm ready to see where we are going with this. 2. All the fear-mongering came from people who fear losing what they've gotten used to, comfortable from all the things that China, India, Dayak, Bidayu, Orang Ulu, dan lain-lain juga mahu. If you had little to begin with, then you have little to lose, including your own microscopic comfort zones. All we could afford to give was the finger. 3. There are things in the past we wish we could get back, but bringing up the dead can sometimes end up burying you. No matter how much noise you make to scare away the wrong spirits, you do not carry on someone else's legacy, you make your own. And yet, my family celebrates nothing. Or maybe we did. Just a little. Just this time. Thank you.